Hello, my name is Krista Chigwa and I'm your Hope Catalyst. You're welcome to the HopeGrill, where we teach, infuse, and experience hope. Today on The Grill, I'm with a media personality, a lawyer, the executive director of Amputees United, one who has warmed my heart since the very day that I met with her. Life has been unfortunate with her because what she's done with life is made life realize that all the lemons that you've thrown at me, I will not only make lemonades out of them, I'll start using it to make eba. Adenike is someone of high spirit. She's one person that literally takes a life, with a pinch of salt, but lives life to the fullest. Adenike, you're welcome to The Grill.
Thank you. All those accolades for me. Wahoo. Thank you for having me.
Adenike, your story is intriguing. You were born with both legs.
Yes.
And at some point, you lost one limb. And what happened? Okay,
so long story very short, I was diagnosed with osteogenic sarcoma, literally cancer of the bone. And it was precipitated medically by a domestic fall I had in the house. So after the fall, I just slipped. I was carrying a bucket of water. I slipped, went to the hospital, went to school. My legs started to pain me, and then eventually I couldn't stand up. And my father came to get me. My friend took me home, and we went to the hospital. And very long journey that encapsulates many things that have to do with our medical sector, at least as far back as 2006 when I had the diagnosis, the surgery. But the diagnosis came in 2005. And eventually I was told at the National Orthopedic Hospital that it was cancer. And I had to amputate. And clearly I was like, nah, you guys don't know what you're doing. So it took a period of time between 2005 when I got the diagnosis till 2006 when I eventually did amputate the limb. And because it was cancer, I had to undergo chemotherapy. And yeah, I was given the clean bill of health. And thankfully and most graciously to God, it's been well over 10 years. And almost every year when I go back to check, I'm super grateful that I have remained cancer-free. And it's been a very interesting journey from then on.
You're an only child.
Ha ha ha.
So how did your parents take the diagnosis first before we even get to the point where they started considering going for the amputation? How did? And I know they waited before they had you.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
my parents got married and they waited years before I came. And as far back as the 80s, it must have been a lot of pressure on my mom. And eventually I showed up and I was this up and about child, hardly ever sat in a place. And fast forward 2005, the diagnosis came. Now, because I had mentioned earlier that it took us months before we finally, as a family, decided that the best option was to go with what the doctors had said. It wasn't a rude awakening. It was something that we had come to terms with, particularly as my life was ebbing away. It was very glaring that if you don't amputate this leg, this girl will die.
This one child again.
It's gonna die. So according to my mom was a champion of Vejeka gay, let's cut it off. And it was my father and I, interesting me enough, that were, oh no, they don't know what they're saying, let's get another opinion and another opinion and another. But I think after the first opinion, when my mom saw that my life was going, at that point my knee had swollen, I was bedridden, I started to have bed sores, I was just a shadow of who I was. And she knew this was not me, she knew this was not the child that she's always would beat around the house. Come back home, sit down in your house. Must you always be in somebody's house? I was in the house and everybody was coming to see me. We just knew it was the way forward. So my family wasn't hit by that reality. And I don't think it was a difficult process accepting the amputation. But of course, I had to go on my own personal journey, because even if my parents were there, it was more my journey and my experience than theirs. So for me, after the amputation, it took me well over 8-9 years for the reality to honestly, sink in, say, okay, yes, you have one leg. And in that space, I had been through episodes of low self-esteem and had no idea, none. Huge shout out to my friend again, Yudi, who pointed it out to me.
Because I was actually going to say, yes, you said it's not really it wasn't really a difficult experience coming to terms with it, but we know it's a difficult process. And there must have been some other things that you struggled with, having to, accept yourself as an amputee.
Yeah, self-esteem. I didn't know that I was battling low self-esteem. And, thankfully, I mentioned earlier, a friend this gentleman walks up to me and mentions, oh, I was still actively wearing my prosthetic limb then. He said, oh, we know you have a limp. We know you have a bulge at your side. Why do you keep hiding? You come here early in the morning, and then you leave after the whole auditorium is empty. Nobody cares. So I'm like, oh, wow. So at that point, it started to dawn on me that I would always wear long dresses. I would always cover, because my prosthetic limb was hardly ever my natural skin color. So in the heat, in the Nigerian heat, you see me wear 2 pantyhose, black, just because I wanted a sense of semblance to what my natural limb was. And I tried my best to do that. But my life started to change the day I realized that I wasn't pleasing anyone. It was about me. It was my joy. It was my happiness. It was who I was. It was my new reality. It was accepting this journey. It was living optimally, and which precipitated the scent of gold. I wanted a spark. I wanted something different. And then, I said, no, we have to start with hair coloring. And, so I know, I had gold. And I remember the first day my father saw my hair. My father went, I hope this color is not entering your brain. I will never forget that light. And I think I started to become who I'm now becoming and evolving into. So for people who've known me through the years, it's beautiful for them to see the person, the woman I'm evolving to. And which is why it's very important for me not just to go through this experience alone, because nobody literally did hold my hands. Yes, there were people there. Engineer Musun was there. She was the very first amputee in Nigeria that I met. And she was what's wrong with you? You're going to be fine, kind of. But there were moments where I just needed someone to tell me, I know how you feel. And though I never reached out to her in those moments, very honestly, I knew that these were moments that I needed to be strong for myself. And I'm sure that...
Did you ever have moments when you just broke down and you just literally broke down?
In fact, one day, 2 years ago, I stopped on 3rd Milan Bridge. And I actually asked...
You wanted to jump?
Oh, no, I'm a very interesting person. If you're my friend, I would have not stopped on 3rd Milan Bridge to take a picture. You're not my real friend. So one of those days, I was alone. And I stopped. And it was more an introspection into life for me. And I genuinely was asking myself, could this amputation lead me into jumping into this water because I have given up all hope? And my answer, I told myself very genuinely, no. I didn't think anything would push me to that extent, at least at that point in time. And I'm thankful that up until now, I've not been suicidal because of this experience. I'm
thankful that you are still here, but I want you to just hold on. We will be right back. Welcome back. Adenike, I mean, like I said, I'm grateful that you're here. Yay. And you've never thought
yes.
of jumping.
Yes.
Okay. But I know you're championing a cause now, because I really don't want us to dwell and, stay on that bit? Because I know there's so much more that you're doing. You went into broadcasting.
Yeah.
I know you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
So what switched?
Wow, what switched? Law had always been a childhood fantasy of mine. I'd always wanted to become a lawyer. I grew up in Ikoyi, and I think that my life changed the first day I saw a federal high court judge, a female federal high court judge. I had never seen a woman garner that sort of respect in my entire life. And I was in primary school. There was so much aura around her. I'm like, what? You know, where is this woman? I remember asking my father, and at that point, because I'm a talkative, everybody, you know, Nigeria, you talk too much, you should be a lawyer, you talk too much. So I eventually started to say, okay, I probably will be a lawyer. So this is the, you know, this is the respect that I would get. The men will stand at attention. You know, someone will open the door. I would have an oddly. And I wanted to study law. I had my own fair share of, you know, jamming me and all of that. But eventually I got into studying law at the Olabisi Onabanjo University, and it was a dream come true. Even though in my second year I had the diagnosis, I had to take time off school. Thankfully, it was one of those strike seasons.
And that long period.
And that, you know, that just helped buffer my time away from school. And graduated, went to the Nigerian Law School, Lagos campus, was called to bar in Abuja. Of course, my parents came excited, thinking that, this child will become senior advocate of Nigeria. I was never enthusiastic about my practice of law.
Wow.
And that occurred during my law office attachment. So the moment I was done, I didn't actively look for a job in a law firm. And somehow the media opening came and I interned. I offered myself to intern, and, you know, like they say, the rest is history.
You're championing Amputees United. I mean, sometimes, you know, one could think that it's because, I mean, you just need people to come together and you just pity people and all of that. But I know there's so much more to Amputees United. Why Amputees United?
I think that on the long run, my hope is that Amputees United will be a hub where persons like myself would go to and get all the resources and information that they would need to spur them on their journey. I'll give an example. We don't provide financial support. I was very clear, I'm a God person, and I remember asking him, are we supposed to, you know, raise funds to do this, to give people? And it was very clear, no financial support, no prosthetic limbs. Ours is to hear that someone has just been recently amputated and to help go meet the person. Let them see a reflection of their new reality. It gives them a buffer to understanding that if we can, so can you. Because I didn't see that. I had to be the be it all, do it all person. And I think that there are many more people who need that kind of support. Interestingly enough, we have quite a number of men. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh wow, so the guys are coming out. It's also the hub. Imagine seeing a group of 20, 30 amputees, you know, from the Babafemi 4-year-olds to, you know, to the Ejinamosu in their 70s. And you wonder, this is interesting. There's this cross-section of amputees living in Nigeria, living the life that the doctors have probably just told a family friend of yours, this is the new reality. Then you begin to accept it. Then you begin to say, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I can still go to school. Maybe I can still continue my education. Maybe I can still do this business. Maybe I can eventually even get married. I possibly can even get pregnant and have start a family of my own.
Very true.
Yeah, because for me, I think that's where the progression is tilting towards, because I have done the education bit. I'm working. I'm still working. And everybody just figures, oh, okay, you know what? The next line of action is a marriage. I'm like, it will happen. Yeah. And people have shared opinions as to, oh, can you carry a child to full term? I'm like, are you guys kidding me? These are the things that I'm hoping that when people see a community like us, it gives them a sense of hope, a sense of possibilities, and a sense of togetherness, where we'll just literally hold our hands to say, I'm here for you. What
so you've come through low self-esteem, to stigmatization and love and care and all of that. What would you say someone that has a disability, what kind of support would you say the person, I mean, like, I understand sometimes what it feels like to be a parent to a child with disability, but what does it feel like as a person with disability? What are the key things that you think I would need to be able to survive?
You need to know, identity is very key. The start and end of every human being, whether or not you believe God exists, is a different ballgame. I believe he exists. And I believe that he's the only one, I say it often, he's the core that holds my life together. No individual can make meaning of their life if they do not know who it is that they are. Until you know who you are and you know whose you are, I promise you that no matter where in the world you go, no matter the medical opinion you get, no matter the motivational life coach teachers that sit you down, it will amount to nothing. You need to know who it is that you are. It is not a day's job. It is not a day's assignment. It is a journey, and that's why it is called purpose. Purpose has different tentacles, that it has its different expressions through the different phases that we go through in life. And most importantly, once you start on that journey, once you know who you are, you know why you're here, everything starts to add up, even in the moments where they are not making sense. It starts to add up. And for me, I'm a person that says, God, leave me present in you. So if you're an amputee, you're a caregiver, you need to start from that place where, one, you need to know who you are. Secondly, you need to accept the new reality. And for people around them, allow them grieve. It is okay to grieve. There is nothing well with losing a leg. It is not well. Don't inundate them with the Christianese. Allow them cry, allow them grieve. They will come out of it in the moments where they are coming out.
And I saw you posted something recently. You were talking about, it's okay, you need Jesus, but it's okay to have it.
It's okay to have Jesus as to have a therapist. Yes, it's absolutely okay. If such individuals also need therapy, please
because I think sometimes when people are grieving and they're going through pain and all of that, they really, you talked about knowing who you are and whose you are. You really then need to get help.
Absolutely.
And that's probably where, you need a therapist. Adenike, I want to be like you. I want to,
just the hair like me, Jada.
Well, I think my hair is...
Your hair is perm. This is not going to work, darling.
Really?
Yes.
So that one person is out there and saying, Adenike, how do you do it every day? Tell me something to just make my life, so they don't have to have a disability, but they just admire you and they're asking you to tell them one thing.
One thing?
Yeah.
Okay, my one thing will have 2 branches. So my one thing will have 2 branches is, first and foremost, you must of a necessity accept this reality. Nobody is haunting you, nobody did juju to you, nobody cursed you. You are special to God, and there is a purpose for it. Secondly, is to understand that your life will have a meaning regardless of what it is, because the essence of your being is not tied to the disability or inability, as some people would rather call it. So please accept it. Love yourself. Nobody can love you as much as you love yourself. If you're a parent to a child living with disability, I'd also say, please, you need to, when you say you hound them, inundate them with love, because it comes from the home. Once you know it, nothing else changes.
Thank you so much, Adenike. And
I talk too much.
We love you that way. We love you that way. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
on the
having
grill.
me.
And we hope to have you here. Maybe when you have your first baby.
Excuse me, give me the gift.
The cake is, let me see. Okay.
It's my cake.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for, oh my, it has my name.
Yes, it does.
I saw my name. Oh, there it is.
Yes, that's your name.
Thank you. Are we supposed to look?
Thank you. at the HopeGrill. Nothing seems to be going on well in my life. I don't have any money to sustain my family. I've lost my job, I've lost friends, and I'm scared I might be losing my family too. I feel miserable. Help. You really seem to be in a bad situation. And I want you to hear what I said. Seem to be. It's not that you are in a bad situation. So sometimes life throws so many things at you. And I think it's the way you respond to it that will help you to either be victorious or come out, with smiles and have a positive ending. So I want to encourage you not to give up. I want you to ask yourself, what do I have that I can use? What do I have that can work for me? You need to think back and probably talk with your family and ask them too, what do they think that you can do, even if you don't have any creative juices left anywhere again, and try to pick up your life. So if I want to give you in action steps, I would say, ask yourself, what can I do? What do I know how to do? What's inherent in me? Because I think when we were all created, we were created to have good in us and to be able to do good. So ask yourself, what is that thing that can do? And it can just be that you know how to bake. Or it can be that you know how to talk to people. Ask yourself, am I good with my hands? Am I good with my voice? Am I good with the way I see? Or what is that thing? And when you know what that thing is, then you can focus on trying to get help in that area. And I know that should help you. I also will say that you can join the HopeGrill community, and there we share a lot of real life issues. And sometimes you wouldn't know, somebody might just have help available for you. Maybe someone might have a job that you might be well suited for. Quote for the week: hope begins in the dark. The stubborn hope that if you just show up and try to do the right thing, the dawn will come. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with the great personality and I, Adenike Oyetunde. Life is beautiful, life is amazing, and don't ever give up on life. Continue to be hope, continue to do hope, and continue to give hope. Thank you. Bye.